Hey guys, welcome to Reddit Brew. Today, I will be reading 3 entitled people stories, all of which are inspired by the same type of entitled people, the worst sinners of them all, office food stealers. So let's jump into it. Susan the Snack Stealer. I used to work with a super entitled woman once upon a time. Her name was Susan. Susan liked to get to the office earlier than everyone else, but I didn't find out why that was until I'd worked there for a few months. She was the sort who liked to help herself to the snacks people had in the communal fridge. She'd also take individual sodas from the case my cubicle neighbor kept under her desk, and had a real thing for stealing either my chocolate or my good granola bars, depending on what I had stashed, right out from my desk drawer. She got her comeuppance one year at the office Christmas potluck. We had a lady who did Greek cooking and was magnificent at it. This particular year, she'd brought in an enormous tray of mini spanakopita, the spinach and feta cheese in phyllo dough, each roughly the size of an Oreo cookie. Literally hundreds of these little beauties stacked too high on the tray, just waiting to be devoured. And then along came Susan with the Tupperware of holding. I shit you not, she scooped fully 1/4 of the contents of that tray into her Tupperware, looking around furtively to make sure no one would try to stop her. She brushed the phyllo crumbs from her fingers, popped the seal on her Y-sized Tupperware, and turned smugly away from the buffet table. And every single person in the office was glaring at her, fit to set her permanently ablaze. Our office manager was particularly salty, because she, dear reader, was the Greek chef who had provided these delicious morsels. She spoke, and it was with the voice of a vengeful goddess. "Susan, what in the hell do you think you're doing?" And then the foot tapping began, and a hand on the hip. And finally, the finger of doom did aim at Susan, thief of treats, hoarder of spanakopita, and Susan did meekly open her Tupperware Y-bowl and return unto the tray roughly 90% of the pita. Thus was the office manager appeased, and thus was Susan forever snack shamed. Office thief caught rummaging through my desk. Early in my professional career, I found myself promoted to being a department manager. Through a twist of luck, I got an office that was absolutely huge, though it had this weird little recess on the end. I pushed a plush chair in there, and it was a cozy place to sit. My prior position had me starting at 5 a.m., and my new one was at 9. I had a hard time changing my sleep schedule, so I was already awake and restless, so I was usually in the office by 6. My home at the time was kind of hectic, so sometimes I enjoyed just sitting in my chair in the quiet and the dark. A little weird maybe, but it was the only quiet time I had. I had a few others in my department who came in early because they liked leaving early, so they could be home when their kids got home from school. I didn't care, as long as the work got done. We also had a food thief. Usually it was the break room fridge and pantry. However, they apparently helped themselves in people's cubicles as well. One morning, I was sitting in my snug little corner in the dark when my office door opens and a shadow glides silently over to my desk. They whip out their phone and turn on the light as they start going through drawers. I knew what they were looking for. I had some chocolate truffles I had shipped from Germany. A friend of mine would send them, and they are amazing. Imagine if someone combined Ferrero Rocher with the addictive euphoria of crack. Yeah, they are amazing. I often shared these with people, but they were expensive. I'd usually spend around $300 on a shipment. It didn't take long, and our thief found their prize. They pull out a huge Ziploc bag and start filling it up. That was when I casually said, "What exactly do you think you are doing?" They might have jumped out of their skin. I flipped on the lights. Their face was a canvas of fear, so I walked over to the desk and added 2 more truffles to their bag and closed it, then handed it back to them. I really hate thieves. Make no mistake, I am really disturbed by this behavior, but today, I'm not going to out you to the office or reprimand you. However, if so much as a crumb goes missing from this moment forward, and you'll be the first person I go to, and if I determine it was you, I'll fire you so fast it'll make you sick. Understand? They just nodded. Good. You go enjoy those very expensive truffles now. I never offered him another one, but amazingly, things stopped disappearing. Until a year later, we got a new addition to our office, and within a week, something went missing. Guy was in my office first thing to let me know it wasn't him. The victim hadn't even had a chance to tell me yet. Ended up being the new person. They got caught 2 days later taking stuff from the fridge in the break room. After they were caught, they just went and cleared out their desk and left. Coworker thought my room was Starbucks. Susan the snack stealer reminded me of this EP I used to work with. I teach middle school, and we didn't have any kind of staff room in our old building. I had a dorm fridge, microwave, and single-serve Keurig in my room. Entitled person was a floater, and not usually on my floor. So one day, EP is assigned to hall duty on my floor. I greet her cordially and go about my very busy morning. I had just made myself a coffee, and EP pokes her head in my room and says, "That smells delicious. Can I have a cup?" I of course say yes, and make her a cup in an extra mug I had. EP is grateful, thanks me, says she'll bring me one of her pods next time, and returns to her job. A few days go by, I don't get my mug back, but teachers get about 10 mugs a year, so I don't sweat it. No biggie. Here's where it starts to get good. She's assigned to my floor again, and pops in my room with my mug. At first, I think I'm getting my mug back. Nope. She hands me the mug and says, "Can I get another coffee?" Now, I'm a bit miffed because I buy my own water and the K-cups, and I'm a teacher, but I make her a coffee again. EP asks if I have cream and sugar, but I drink my coffee black, so I reply no. After mocking me for liking black coffee, she says, "You should keep cream and sugar for people who don't like black coffee." I smile/smirk and give her the mug. The very next day, one of my students walks in with the empty mug and says, "Miss EP wants you to make her a cup of coffee and asks for the pumpkin spice one." Now, I'm generous, but K-cups are freaking expensive, so I take the mug and set it by the machine with no intentions of making coffee and go about my job. Here comes EP. "I told JT to have you make me a coffee." I don't want to sound like a stingy bitch, so I say I'm sorry, but I got busy and forgot. "Well, I have to go upstairs. Have JT bring it up when it's done." No please, no thank you, no offer to buy K-cups. Nothing. I did not make coffee, nor send JT, just ignored the whole thing. Fast forward about 3 weeks, I had a PD out of the building, so I needed a sub. When I return, my classroom helper tells me that Miss EP came in looking for me and told me to make her a coffee. Classroom helper, 11 years old, tells me she wasn't sure if she should, but Miss EP told her it was okay. After that, I locked my coffee in the cupboard and told EP that I just ran out, or I just used my last pod. She finally got the hint, but instead of bringing her own pods, she just started ignoring me and gossiping that I was the coffee police. Great googly moogly, the audacity of these people. The teacher in the last story was way too nice. I would have told that woman to pound sand and get her own dang coffee. There's a reason I named this channel Reddit Brew. When it comes to coffee, you will face the eternal wrath if you take my precious bean water. Sadly though, some people truly are never satisfied, and once you give them something once, they just expect it from then on out. Isn't it sad that you have to make boundaries with people with your own property and belongings so that they don't feel entitled to it? Good grief. But anyways, that is all from me today. I hope you enjoyed those 3 entitled people stories. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I truly appreciate when you do, and I will see you in the next Reddit story. Bye!